In trying to do a psalm a day, reading it in Hebrew, translating it in English, phrase by phrase, we might entitle Psalm 14. This is like we're doing a psalm a day this way. Psalm 14 uh, shows a corrupt world and the righteous living in a corrupt world. It begins, Lamnatseach le David, for the leader, a psalm of David. Amar Naval Belebo Ein Elohim. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. Hishchitu Hitivu Alilah. They have dealt corruptly. They have done abominably. Ein Osei Tov. There is none that does good. Verse 2. Adonai Mishamayim Hishkif al Bnei Adam. The Lord from heaven has looked upon the sons of men. Lirot Hayesh Maskil. To see if there was any that had understanding. Doresh et Elohim. Who was seeking God. Hakol Sar Yachdav Nehalahu. They are all corrupt. They have altogether become impure. Ein Osei Tov, Ein Gam Achad. There is none doing good, no, not one. Verse 4. Halo Yada'u Kol Pe'alei Avin. Shall not all the workers of iniquity know it? Okle Ami Achlu Lechem, who eat up my people as they eat bread. Adonai lo kara'u, and call not upon the Lord. Verse 5. Sham pachadu fachad. There they are. They are there in great fear. Ki Elohim bedor tzaddik. For the Lord is with the righteous generation. Verse 6. Verse 6. Atzat ani tevishu. You would put to shame the counsel of the poor. Ki Adonai maksehu, but the Lord is his refuge. Verse 7. Mi yatain mitzion yeshuat Yisrael. Oh, that salvation of Israel were come out of Zion. Beshuv Adonai Shavut Amo, when the Lord turns the captivity of his people. Yagel Yaakov Yismach Yisrael. Let Jacob rejoice, let Israel be glad. So as we look at this psalm, it's an encouragement that the psalmist is writing that the righteous of his generation were living in a very evil world. But in reality, that evil world continues today, and we see it continually. Uh, Jewish commentators understand this as a description, especially Rashi and Kimki, as a description of the hard lot of Israel in a godless world. But I think we can apply it today as well. That those who seek to be righteous, and I'm applying it as a Christian minister, those that seek to follow the teaching of Christ in the Sermon on the Mount, for example, that they will be misunderstood in a world that is not wanting to serve the Lord. And as I read this text, my mind goes to the book of Romans, where Paul says, there is none righteous, no, not one. They've all turned aside. they have become unprofitable. And Paul quotes this, goes back to this text to talk about the universal problem of mankind and why there is need of justification through Jesus Christ. Paul talks in Romans about the wrath of God that's about to be revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness. But then, after describing the state of the human race, he then moves on to talk about how now there is justification, divine pardon through what Christ has offered by his death on the cross and by his resurrection. So this psalm was a very important part of Paul's mind as he was writing the book of Romans, and especially Romans chapter 3, as he applied it to the universal guilt of humankind and the need for the righteousness of God in Jesus Christ.